that sometimes our greatest impact can come from sharing the things that we know. These are the things we've learned, lessons we've grown from, and passions we've mastered. And that's exactly what we're seeing happen. People around the world are now sharing their knowledge as their body of work, building their credibility, their freedom of time, their way to earn an income, and for some, it's their legacy for the world. It becomes a manifestation where their imagination met creation, and what is most exciting about this time is that this movement is for everyone, because everyone is a creator. Everyone has a skill and knowledge they can share. No, they must share. No matter your location, your background, your story, your experiences, everyone can do this. You can teach the things you love and be able to impact the lives of others. You can teach the things that may seem simple to you and be able to grow a community around your work. You can create, inspire, follow your dreams, and change the norm. So we welcome you, the new creators, our next creators. Let this be your platform, because if there's one thing we know, it's that nothing is impossible and everything is teachable. And we are live. Hello, everyone. Let me know if you can see me, you can hear me. Yes, sorry if you missed like the first 3 seconds of that video. I could hear something in the background and I was looking around and I looked at the screen and I was like, oh, you guys can't see the video. But let us know if you can see us, you can hear us. You're in for such a treat today. We are joined with none other than Melissa Griffin. And today we're going to be talking about growing an email list. Now, Melissa, before we do our intros and I introduce you to everyone, I actually have a very exciting announcement, which is that we did kind of hint at this, but we told you that in random live events, we're going to be doing some type of giveaway or some special thing. So my friends, the secret link of the day, we are actually giving away 10 Blue Yeti microphones, just so you can see like the two parts to it. This will be up until the link is down. So if you go to teachable.com/Yeti, and this is only if you are joining us live, you can enter and we will be giving away 10 randomly. So do that now. This is just another way for us to say thank you for showing up live, especially the people that are up at 4 o'clock in the morning in Australia just to be here. But without further ado, Melissa, thank you so much for being here. Do you want to share a bit more about who you are and what we can look forward to today?
Yeah. Well, first of all, exciting about the microphones. I would say having a good mic is like numero uno to starting an online business. So that's amazing. So I'll introduce myself in my presentation too, but if we are just getting acquainted today, my name's Melissa Griffin. I am an online course teacher. I also host workshops and retreats. I just love teaching people how to start or grow an online business. It's something that has absolutely changed my life, and I just love the creativity and freedom that it can bring to your life too. So I get all excited about teaching people how to do this themselves. But today we are going to be talking about how to get your first 1,000 email subscribers or your next 1,000 subscribers in the next 90 days. I've got a really cool game plan for you. And I'm going to be sharing one of my favorite list building techniques and then just how to skyrocket it with some really cool strategies. So if you guys are ready, let me know in the chat.
I'm super excited, and the secret link will be going down. So this is your last chance, teachable.com/Yeti. And again, this is just to thank the people that are live here. But I'm excited, and let's switch your screen and dive into it.
Yeah.
Awesome.
All right. Okay. So let's see. There we go. So you are in the right place today. If you know that your email list is important, but you're just struggling to get people to sign up, like you've probably heard it all over the interwebs that you should be growing an email list. And then you try and you're like, why is nothing working? I still have only 12 people on my list. You're also in the right place if you want to help more people with your knowledge and you yearn to create a thriving community online, because you're not just in this for the dollar bills. You're in this to create an impact and to create a community online. And you're also in the right place if you've heard that it's important to have an email list if you want to launch an online course, because I know there's a lot of aspiring and current course creators here today. So you want to grow your email list. You know that it's important if you want to launch a course, so you want to figure out the best strategies to make it happen. So, hello again. My name is Melissa Griffin. I'm actually coming to you from Portland today. I normally live in Santa Monica, California, but I'm here with our annual company retreat. So, I'm in a little co-working space. So, hello. My trainings have been featured all over the internet in places like Entrepreneur and Forbes and Inc. And I just take a lot of pride in what I do. I love teaching people all of the things that I have learned in my own business journey and helping people get some really amazing results in all types of niches and industries. I have students from sewing, from fashion, from pet bloggers, anything that you can imagine. I've probably taught somebody in that industry or niche. But a few years ago, things looked a lot different for me. I was working as an English teacher at the time at a high school and feeling just really unfulfilled in my career and at a very low point in my life. I would say that I was pretty depressed at the time and just didn't feel like I had a purpose in my life. And I know that you watching this right now might be feeling that way too. Maybe you don't, but if you do, then I get it. And I totally know what it feels like to be in that place. And also just kudos to you for being here and actually taking control of those next steps in your life and finding that purpose for yourself. So at the time when I was just feeling really burnt out, I started a blog, and it was just meant to be this creative hobby. It wasn't really meant to be this bigger business, but I was kind of hoping to make some side income. I thought that would be nice too. And eventually my blog turned into a graphic design business. So I was building websites, I was designing logos, and at one point I was even earning 6 figures a year with my graphic design studio. But pretty soon I was exhausted. So by then I had quit my job as a teacher. I was doing design full time, but I noticed that everything I created relied on me. So I couldn't take a vacation. I couldn't go on a team retreat like the one I'm on right now. I couldn't even take weekends off because I needed to have those clients and I was the only person who could work with them. There was actually one moment in particular where a bunch of my friends were going on a trip and it sounded really fun. They were all going to Mexico and I had a client deadline and I couldn't leave. So I had to skip the trip and all the memories that came along with it. And it was around that time that I realized that something needed to change because I was just feeling drained on a regular basis. I was hustling to get clients by creating tons of content, and it just felt like my whole life revolved around my business. So I shifted gears and I decided to focus on 2 things: email marketing and online courses. And to say that it changed my life is an understatement. So I had been working to grow my list at the time for a little while, but after months of it being stagnant, not growing at all, I felt like I'd started to figure things out. So it was around this time, 2015, 2016, that my email list really started to grow a lot each month. And I'm going to share a lot of the reasons why in today's presentation. Now, with my list growing, I ended up launching my first course, and it earned $25,000 in 1 month, which I don't know if that sounds like a lot of money to you. It was crazy. It was like nothing that I'd ever done before. Normally, that would take me months to earn. And as in my job as a teacher, that was almost my annual salary. So it was pretty crazy to earn that in just 1 month. And it really got me thinking, what would happen if I grew my list more and created more online courses? So I closed down my graphic design studio and started creating more online courses. And if you guessed that everything grew from there, you would be right. 18 months after launching that first course, I had my first $1 million year in business, and things have just continued to grow since then. And this, just so you know, is coming from somebody with no business degree or MBA, a tiny budget when I was starting out. I would have been one of those people who would have flipped out if I won a free microphone because I didn't have really much money to put into my business and no previous email marketing knowledge. I wasn't coming at this as a previous marketer or somebody who knew what she was doing. I was starting from square one. And since then, I've had the opportunity to teach over 12,000 students in my paid courses and lead an online community of more than 300,000 people. It's something that I never take for granted because it's something that I've always wanted to create in my life, is a community, a place where people feel like they belong, where they can learn. And it's just really a dream come true to be able to do this work. My business has also given me the ability to create friendships with people who push me to be my best, who are also on a similar path of finding their purpose, of making an impact in the world, people that I genuinely learn from and love. And it's given me the freedom to do things like paying for trips with my mom abroad every year. We never had family trips growing up because we didn't really have the money for things like that. So now it's just a real joy for me to be able to fully fund European adventures with my mom each summer.
Oh.
And most importantly, my business has allowed me to make a bigger impact. So over the past few years, we've raised and donated over $150,000 for charities that I care about. And that's a really big thing on my heart too, is just having a business that gives you freedom. And that's what I'm all about and what we're going to be talking about today in regards to your email list, because that is the biggest freedom maker that I could ever teach you. So it's also given me the privilege to have complete financial freedom and security and the ability to just wake up every morning and know that I'm doing a job I love and impacting people in a bigger way. But again, literally, none of this would have been possible if I had stayed in that graphic design business where I was trading my time for money. And if I hadn't prioritized list building and email marketing or created and sold online courses, those are two things that have genuinely changed the trajectory of my life. So now I'm on a mission to help other online entrepreneurs, bloggers, creators maximize their full potential and create the life that you've always wanted. So here is what we're covering today. The number one way to grow your list and make online course sales. So if you're somebody who wants to grow your list and use that list builder to launch an online course and make sales, then this is for you. And then also how to promote your list builder to maximize your growth. So you might be asking right now, I know you signed up for this workshop, but maybe you're still asking, why is my email list important again? What about Instagram, Facebook? Like, should I be focusing that much on my email list? Well, here's why. So with an email list, you own your following. There's no algorithm or company that can take it from you. So you probably have heard that Instagram has algorithm updates. Facebook has had some major ones too, where now it's more like a pay to play. You got to pay for ads to get in front of your audience type of thing. And social media is great, but you don't own your following there. They could shut down, they could change their algorithm, and something could happen where you just aren't able to get in front of your audience in the same way that you were before. But with email, it's different. I can literally log into my email service provider and download a spreadsheet of the names and email addresses of every single person in my community, which I can't do on Instagram or Facebook. And so I don't have to rely on an algorithm or a company shutting down because my email list just relies on me to be able to send emails to them. I also think it's just the most personal way to connect with your audience, because on social media, you're kind of like on your soapbox broadcasting to the entire world. But with an email list, it feels like this personal thing, like you're sending it directly to them. Also, statistically, these people are going to be more likely to buy from you because hitting the follow button on Instagram or giving someone your email address has a different weight to it. So people are a little bit more choosy when they give out their email address. So you know those people are your biggest fans. And just statistically, email lists have higher conversion rates. And I'm going to show you some really cool formulas in just a few minutes that'll show you how much money you're able to make with an email list once you grow it a little bit. But they do have higher conversion rates. So if you post the same offer on Instagram and in an email, statistically, your email will have a lot more buyers. And it just ensures more people see your content because you're able to get in someone's inbox in chronological order. With Instagram or Facebook, you're relying on an algorithm to put your posts at the top of somebody's feed. With an email, it's just when you send it. So you know that it's getting in the hands of your people more often than on social media. So let's do a little comparison here. So the average Instagram engagement, meaning likes or comments, is 2 to 5%. 2 to 5%, that's average. That's actually pretty good. So if you have 1,000 Instagram followers, yeah, right? If you have 1,000 Instagram followers, that's 20 to 50 likes or comments per post. Average email list engagement, 20 to 40%. That's like 10x what you would get on Instagram. So if you have 1,000 email subscribers, that's 200 to 400 people opening your emails. And that's average. So that could even be higher than that as well. So if you're wondering where to put your focus, especially as a new course creator, business owner, online creator of content, I would say start with your email list. And eventually you can branch out to other mediums like Instagram or Facebook. So now we've got to clear up just a big misunderstanding in the list building world before we dive into all of the strategies I want to share with you today. So here's the mistake that I see most people making. And don't worry if you are one of those people who's made this mistake. I definitely did in the beginning too. But they'll put up an opt-in form on their website that looks like this. It says, subscribe to my newsletter for free updates and the latest strategies.
I think we've seen a lot of those.
Yeah, right. So why is this a mistake? Well, it's too vague because if you think about it, what exactly will I be getting? Like I told you earlier, if somebody gives you their email address, that has a lot of weight. It's almost like giving you their digital phone number. So I'm not going to give my phone number to somebody who's like not specific about what I'm going to be getting out of that interaction. So it's too vague. You need to be specific about what they're going to get from you if they're going to sign up for your list. Also, what problem is this solving for me? Because if somebody's going to be exchanging their email address, generally they want you to solve a problem, even if it's a small one, like getting free shipping or something like that. But I'm going to show you some ways that you can solve problems for people, especially if you want to one day launch an online course. There's also no online course connection. So if I'm looking at something that says like sign up for my newsletter, I don't even know what your newsletter is about. So why would I sign up for it? You know what I mean? But if you have an opt-in form and something to give away that's related to your online course, that's very specific and that solves a problem for people, then you've got a winner. And that's something that people will stop in their tracks to sign up for, especially if it's solving the problem that they need help with. If you're going to solve someone's problem, they want in. So what kind of opt-in should you create instead? This is where it starts to get juicy. Now, this opt-in that I'm going to share with you in just a second is something that works really well for people who create content online or digital products like online courses, because you can repurpose this opt-in into a pre-launch extravaganza where you can basically use it to grow your online course sales. So it's great for list building, and it's great for getting people into your online courses. So what is it? A 5-day challenge. So what is a challenge? Now, I say that they should be 5 days. You can do them for shorter or longer. I've seen ones that were 3 days. I've seen some that were like 21 days. Personally, I've tried a bunch of different amounts of time for challenges, and I found that 5 days works well because too much time, like 7 days, people start to become unengaged and they don't keep opening the emails. 3 days is a little short for somebody to have like a shift in their life from the challenge or to get really good results. 5 days is kind of the sweet spot in my opinion. So for a challenge, yeah, go ahead.
I was just going to say, like, there's a lot of people are resonating with this in the chat, but I love the fact that your goal with this challenge is to get people to results. There's no like bait and switch. Like, it's a win-win even if they don't end up following through after.
100%. Yes, exactly. And that's why I like challenges, because as we'll talk about, they're very action oriented. It's not about like throwing random information on people. It's about creating a step-by-step plan for somebody that they can follow in 5 days to actually get results, whether they sign up for your course or not. So what's a challenge? I say it's 5 emails sent out over the span of 5 days. So that's about 1 email per day. And in these emails, you're teaching valuable information. You're actually helping them learn something. And then you're encouraging them to take action. So there's always a little mini piece of homework in your challenge emails or a direction to send them in so that they do get results by the end of the challenge. And I'm going to tell you why that's important in just a moment. Now, there's also a clear goal for participants to achieve. So it's not the type of thing where each day you're just giving them random information that's helpful, but not really guided in a certain direction. It's a clear goal that they're going after throughout the challenge. Now, why challenges over other list building methods? They're actionable rather than passive. So again, you're not just giving them information and hoping that they read it and maybe do something with it. You're giving them information, but even more importantly, you're giving them an action item, something that they can implement that same day to get results. People have small, quick wins each day, which builds trust and loyalty, because if you're just giving them information every day and they're reading it and thinking about it, but not actually doing something with it, they might not be getting results. But because they're going to have small, easy to do homework each day, by the end of the challenge, they'll actually have made some progress. And that's on you. They're going to think, wow, this person's awesome, because they are the first person who showed me how to actually do this and to get results. And whether you're using challenges just to grow your email list or to eventually make sales of an online course or a different product, being able to get people results builds extreme trust and loyalty. So those people are going to be your fans. They're going to want to be in your community for a long time, and they're going to want in your programs. For a challenge, the topic is also directly related to your course topic, if that's something that you want to do. You can absolutely do challenges even if you don't plan to have an online course, but it is a really great way to find the right people who would be interested in your future course, because the topics are on the same wavelength. And then lastly, it's a high value lead magnet, which translates to quick growth. So it's not like a one-page PDF, which can work well too, for sure, but it feels really high value. It feels like an event, feels like something where you know you're going to get a lot of good information and results out of it. So it's something that people are even more likely to sign up for it than something smaller like a one-page PDF. So let's break it down a little, how this whole process works. You would create a landing page with, you share this landing page with your people online, where it talks about your challenge and the problem it's going to solve for people. They sign up on this landing page, and then registrants will get an email every day of the challenge. So remember, I recommend 5 days of emails. And in those emails, you teach something and you give them an action item. And then by the end of the challenge, registrants will have accomplished something. They will have accomplished that goal that you set out to help them with. They would have fallen in love with your brain because of all the amazing things that they learned and the results that they got. And maybe if you have a course or a product or service, they might have even purchased something from you. So it's a win-win-win all around, my friends. So let's do some case studies, because I'm sure you're thinking, okay, this sounds kind of cool, but show me the goods. How does it work? So I'm going to show you 2 case studies of different challenges that I have done. The first one is called the Triple Your Traffic Challenge. Now, the goal for the challenge and the course that this challenge later led into was the same. So the course and the challenge were all about helping people grow their organic traffic. So what that does is it attracts the right people, because you don't want to just grow an email list of a lot of people that are really general and might not really be interested in the things that you want to create and sell in the future. You want to create a community of the right people. This challenge was all email based, so your challenge could incorporate things like video, audio, worksheets. This one was super simple. It was just emails over 5 days, 5 days of emails. And it eventually led into the launch of one of my online courses about Pinterest marketing. This was the registration page. So let's go over some of the details on this page. So up here we have a headline. Now you can see it's very obvious what this challenge is helping you do just by the name. Triple your traffic. So you know that it's all about traffic growth. Down here in the little description, I also added some sort of social proof and past results. So you want the headline to be eye-catching, obvious what they're going to be getting out of it. And then if you want to add a little bit more description, you've gotten results for clients before, you've personally gotten results with what you're teaching, share them a little bit. So you can see that I've used this system to grow my traffic to over 450,000 monthly page views and taught the same system to over 10,000 students who consistently get rave results. So I'm using that language to tell people, especially people who maybe are unfamiliar with me or haven't taken any of my challenges or signed up for my list before and don't know what I'm all about, I'm adding some social proof to show them I know what I'm talking about and I know I can help you. So whatever that looks like for you, maybe it's a testimonial, maybe it is a case study or some numbers or metrics like you see here. It can be anything, but something that adds a little mojo to your registration page. So people who've never heard of you know what you're all about and why they should listen. And then down here on the registration button, it is actionable. Sign me up. It doesn't just say enroll or sign up. It feels more actionable than, or like click here or something like that. So you want something that when they see it, they know, okay, that's the button. I'm going to take action. And these things might seem really minuscule, but they actually do make a difference. And then lastly, I've got a photo of myself over here just to add a little more of that personable flair to my registration pages. So if you've got a brand that's centered around you, I would definitely recommend adding a photo of yourself too.
And Melissa, just a quick question. So we have some questions coming up in the chat here, and I think you're probably going to address this, but so what if someone is starting off and they don't have an audience at all? Like they're starting from zero.
Yeah.
Where do they find those initial people to come to the challenge, to join, to grow their list?
Yes, I'm so glad that you asked that, because that is the entire everything we're talking about in the second half of the presentation. So I'm going to show you a little bit.
Amazing.
Okay. I'm going to show you a little bit of how to create the challenge, why it's so great, and then I've got tons of strategies to help you really maximize your list growth with challenges. Okay, so the stats of this challenge, 8,000 people registered for it. And if that number sounds crazy to you right now, don't worry. I'm going to break that down in just a second and show you why you only need 100 people to sign up for your challenge. 550 of those people purchased the course after taking the challenge, which means that 7% of registrants bought the course. So if you're unfamiliar with typical email list conversion rates, they're typically 1 to 3%. But because I did a challenge, 7% of those people purchased the program. That's much higher than normal conversion rates. So you might be saying 8,000 registrants. Melissa, come on. What if I only have 100? So here's actually a little equation for you. So let's say that your email list is 100, and by the end of this workshop, you will easily be able to get 100 people on your list, no doubt. Multiply it by 7%, which was the conversion rate of that challenge. And let's just say your online course is about $300. That's $2,000 that you could be making from your email list if you create a challenge and an online course. Now, what if you grow your list to say 1,000 people that take your challenge? That could be $20,000 in income. And this is even crazier. What if you grow your list even more to 5,000 people, which I am really confident you can do with just the strategies we're talking about in today's presentation? That's $100,000 for your course launch, which is no insignificant amount of money. Now, let's take one more case study. This is the Email List Accelerator Challenge that I did. Now, this one was a combination of video, a workbook, a live Q&A call, and a step-by-step checklist. So it wasn't just emails. I used the emails to direct people to go click a link to visit the video, to download the workbook, all that type of stuff. So this one was a little bit different. Now, this one was 4 days of content spread out over 8 days. So there was a little implementation day in between. I actually would probably just do 5 straight days if I ever did this challenge again, but wanted to show you what we did here. And then this led into a launch for our membership site. This is the registration page. So again, photo of me just to add the relatability so people know, oh yeah, okay, I remember her kind of thing. The title here is very obvious what's going to be happening inside of the challenge. I also added a little subtitle here just because there might be questions on like, what about email lists? So showing them that it's about growing your email list, making sales, and creating an automated email sequence. So it's very clear what they're going to get out of it. And then again, an actionable enroll now button. And the stats of this one, about 7,000 people registered. 450 of them joined our membership, which means 6.1% of registrants bought the membership. And again, that's more than double the normal email conversion rates. So keep this in mind. I like to use a custom domain name. It's not completely necessary, but I'm going to show you some strategies in a moment to use your challenge to grow your list. And you might be talking about your challenge and sending them vocally to a registration page. So it is kind of nice to have a custom domain name like emaillistaccelerator.com, something like that. So it's easy to remember and share. 5 days or less of content. You don't want to overdo it. directly connects to your current or future course topic because you want to make sure you're building the right list. Now, 3 ways to come up with your content for your challenge. Well, you could either do the first module of your current or future online course. So if you have an idea of an online course that you want to create, this could be essentially the first module's worth of content, the first unit that you would put in there and just split it up over 5 days, or even just a portion of the first module. Or it could be an important process that you'll teach in your course. So maybe it's not the first thing that you would teach in the course, but maybe there's like an important process or an important thing that you're going to be teaching in your online course. And you could just break that down into 5 steps over 5 days and teach that process. Or you could just do a general overview of the main steps in your paid course. So it could be something where maybe you've got like 5 main steps that you're going to be teaching in your program. Those could just be broken down into a like high level overview each day of what those steps are, and then giving people an action item at the end of the day. So what should you include in your challenge content? Well, like we said, you should solve a problem. So decide what the goal of your challenge will be. So what is the thing that you're helping people with? What problem does your audience need help solving? So whether you want to create an online course or not, solving problems for people is going to get them to sign up for your email list. That's how you create engagement. That's how you create a community, is you help people with what they really need from you. So which topic will you teach about for your current or future online course, if that's something you want to do? I like to think about that and then work backwards. So thinking about, if I'm going to be creating a course in the future, what topic is that going to be on? What problem is that going to solve people for, or help people solve? And then I work backwards and create my challenge in the same wavelength, where I'm helping them solve a very similar problem. Now, the content that you teach should be something that they can accomplish during the time frame of the challenge in 5 days. So I wouldn't teach them something where you're giving them the information now, but it takes like a year to actually see results. You want something where they can actually get results in those 5 days. Longer processes can be taught in your online course or in your services or with your clients, whatever it is that you want to do. But keep it more short so that people can actually get results in those 5 days. So if you think about your content for each of those 5 days, think about what are the 5 major steps. So you've got your starting point where people are starting out when they sign up for it, and then you've got your end goal. What's the end goal that you want people to hit by the end of your challenge in those 5 days? And then just plug in the important steps in between. And then these become the daily content inside of your challenge. So day 1, 2, 3, 4, and 5. So day 1, and once I go through the content here for each day of the challenge, then we're going to get into some really savvy promotional strategies to help you get people to actually join your challenge, because simply just putting it on your website is probably not going to help. So day 1 of the challenge is where you introduce yourself and give them an easy win. So I like to just introduce who I am. I introduce my brand because a lot of these people are probably going to be new to you, or at least new to your email list. And then share some myths or misconceptions that hold people back regarding your challenge topic. So maybe there is a mindset shift that needs to happen. Maybe there are some myths in your industry that you want to break down and tell people these actually aren't true. Well, that can be the content for your first day of your challenge. And then give them step 1 with a quick, easy win. So remember, we always want an action item with your challenge. So give them a quick, easy win that they can take advantage of. Because if they get an easy win on day 1, they're definitely going to come back for day 2. Now, days 2 to 4, teach steps 2 to 4 in your process. So what are the next few steps that will help them accomplish your challenge's goal? Now, give them an action item each day that they can complete in 15 to 30 minutes. This isn't something where you want them to be spending hours a day on your challenge. And the reason for that, even if it seems like you're giving them a lot of helpful information, is that people just won't do it. Maybe some people will, but most will not. Most people want a quick win, especially if they haven't paid to enroll in something yet. They're still kind of like in the periphery, like deciding if they want to put a ton of time and effort into your teachings. So give them quick wins to build that trust with people. And day 5 is the final step and your soft pitch. So if you've got a course, again, like I said, this is a great way to lead people into purchasing your course. But again, totally don't need a course to do a challenge and get great results. Just wanted to include it in case there are other aspiring course creators out there. So lead them through the final step before they can accomplish the goal of the challenge. And then if you're using a challenge during a course launch, or you want to send people to your online course or services, whatever it is really, this final day is when you can share more about your program. Now, what you don't want is they leave your challenge feeling like they know everything. So don't give them every single thing that you know about this topic, because A, that's going to overwhelm people and they're probably not going to consume all that info. And B, you want to have something that you can teach in your paid courses as well. They're also overwhelmed with too much to do and they just don't do it. And it often is not actionable if you give too much information or if you just don't give them action items. So you don't want it to just be theory. You want to give them those action items so that they've got quick wins. And then how do you set up your challenge? Create a landing page where people can sign up. You schedule those 5 challenge emails into an email service provider so that they can automatically receive the emails every day. And then if you want to host videos or audios or things like that, Teachable is actually a great place to do that, because you can put your challenge videos inside of a Teachable course and then just give your challenge participants access to that. You can create a totally free course where you can host videos. You can also host them on something like a landing page, but totally up to you. So you can absolutely start a challenge with just straight email content, but you can also upload things like videos and workbooks if you want to do that too. Okay, so remember, we're talking about 90 days of list building. So creating and uploading your challenge content will be the first 15 days of those 90 days. So you've got 75 days left to help you build your list. Let's talk about some other strategies to help you now promote your challenge. But before we do that, let me know in the chat, do you have an idea for a challenge that you could create? And which topic do you want to teach about in a free challenge? So let me know in the chat. And Jess, you might be able to see the chat more than me.
Yeah, so
call out a couple of those things.
Absolutely. Okay, so there's a lot here. Anthony says lose 30 kilograms in 5 days. That seems like a lot, but
maybe even smaller. Yeah.
Yeah. Brenda says writing your family stories. Kim is meditation. Kristen is effective communication. Lisa says easy stock market income. How to travel the world. Watercolor. Oh, this is so exciting to see so many different topics as well. And yeah,
I know.
Chat is buzzing.
That is so cool. I love it. You all are so creative. I love that so much. So now it's time to grow your list. Now that we've covered how to create a challenge and what the topic should be, and it sounds like you all have a lot of great topics you want to teach on, it's time to actually use that challenge to get people to sign up. So first, we're going to talk about promoting it internally, and then we're going to go on tour. Going on tour is my favorite part, so I saved that for last. But first, we're going to promote your challenge internally. So the first thing you want to do is optimize your website so that people can opt in to your challenge. And this might seem simple, but as I'm going through these, I want you to think, am I doing that right now or not? So the first thing is to add a welcome mat opt-in. So a welcome mat is something where you have an opt-in right at the top of your website before anyone ever has to scroll down. Now there are softwares that you can use. I believe Sumo is one of them, where you can add a welcome mat to your site without knowing a lick of HTML code. You can also have somebody come in and put an opt-in form right at the top of your site. But I can tell you that when I put an opt-in form at the top of my site like this, like a welcome mat, my number of subscribers each day doubled. So it works really well. It's a quick, easy win that you can get, something I highly recommend doing straight away after today's presentation. You can also add a sidebar opt-in. So if you've got a sidebar on your website, that's a great place to add an opt-in for your challenge. Add a pop-up opt-in. Now this with the welcome mat, I don't know which one works better. They are both fantastic for getting people to opt into your list. So you can have an opt-in form that pops up after people scroll maybe 50% of the page, or if they're on your website for 30 seconds or more. It doesn't have to be something that pops up right away when somebody gets to your site. Those can be a little frustrating. But if you have an opt-in that pops up after they've been on your site for a little while, and then tells people about your free challenge, then they can just opt in right there with a pop-up. These convert extremely well, and highly recommend adding it to your website. You can also add a hello bar opt-in. So this is Marie Forleo's website, and she just came out with a book, but you can see at the top that pink bar says get your copy, so you can buy her book. Now you can have something just like this, and Hello Bar is actually a company that allows you to put these on your site without knowing code, and you can add an opt-in to, or a link to your landing page where people can sign up for your free challenge. And if you create content on your website, you can add an opt-in into any relevant post that you have. So you can see here, this is a blog post that I was writing. And then I added a little section that said, before we begin, I want to share my triple your traffic challenge, blah, blah, blah. And then I have a little button where if they click it, a little pop-up comes up where they can sign up for the challenge. So litter your site with opt-in forms. Now, I know that might sound aggressive. It's actually not littering, because you might think that you're putting opt-in forms everywhere and people will obviously see them if you only have one. But people are not looking at your content as directly as you are. They don't know where all of the opt-in forms are. They're probably going to totally miss a lot of them. So that's why I recommend adding several opt-in forms to your website to talk about the challenge, because chances are if you've got more than 3, they'll at least see one of them and then can opt in. Now, some tools real quick. If you need some software to create opt-in forms, Leadpages works well. Opt-in Monster, Sumo has those nice welcome mats. ConvertKit is an email service provider, and they also have opt-in forms and landing pages you can create. And Hello Bar gives you those nice bars at the top of your website. So these are all really great to use for opt-in pages, landing pages, hello bars, pop-ups, all those types of things. Okay, and now when you're promoting internally, you can create some pre-challenge content to get people to sign up for your challenge, and then strategically repurpose it. So you can create one piece of content and then use it all over the place. So the first thing is wherever you currently create content. So whether you create blog posts, podcasts, maybe YouTube videos, wherever it is that you typically create content, do that. Create 1 to 2 pieces of content that are similar to your challenge topic. So for example, you can see here, these were leading into my triple your traffic challenge. And both of these blog posts that I wrote were directly related to the topic of the challenge. So the challenge was giving people Pinterest strategies to grow their traffic. So both of these blog posts were talking about the same thing, Pinterest strategies to grow your traffic. So I wrote these blog posts about slightly different information than what was in my challenge, but very complementary. So I wrote those, and then I turned them into emails that I could send to my email list. So I just repurposed the content. I tweaked it so it wasn't exactly the same, but I sent those emails to my list. And in the blog posts and in the emails, I used them both as a way to send people to my landing page so that they could sign up for my challenge. Now you might be thinking, well, I'm using the challenge to grow my email list, so why would I send emails to my list? This is if you already have a few people or maybe a lot of people on your email list who might want to take the challenge. And the nice thing about that is that they might share it with their friends too. And you're really just repurposing content rather than creating all of this content from scratch. So it's a great way to use those blog posts and turn them into emails.
I have to say,
And
your
then you can
emails.
use them.
Oh, sorry.
Yeah.
I can say your emails are so engaging. I mean, I've been sharing them throughout the office too. Just the fact that you are repurposing content, it makes them so interesting, and you've got like valuable stuff in the email as well.
Yeah, thank you. Yeah, they're not just straight pitch emails most of the time where it's like, sign up for the challenge, flashing neon lights. It's helpful, it's story based, just like a blog post would be, and then sending it in an email with a link where they can register for your challenge. You can also do Facebook and Instagram Live. So you can take that blog post, podcast, YouTube content and just use the same content in a Facebook Live or an Instagram Live. Because you might think that people are following your content on every platform, but oftentimes they're not. And if somebody likes reading a blog post, they might not be the same type of person who likes watching a Facebook Live. So you're catching different types of people who consume different types of content. So this can be great to just literally share the same content you taught in that blog post in a Facebook or Instagram Live. And then, of course, driving people to your registration page for your challenge. Instagram posts are a great place to do this too. You can share the link to your challenge in an Instagram post, and then you can also change the link in your bio to whatever the link is for your landing page for your challenge. So you're pretty much just capturing people wherever they're currently following you. And even if you have a small following right now, that's totally fine. You want to get those people from wherever they're following you online at the moment onto your email list. And then you want to invite your biggest fans. So that means reaching out to family and friends. So if you don't think they're a good fit, like maybe your dad is not going to want to join your challenge about losing 30 kilograms. That's fine. But maybe he knows somebody that would want to join the challenge, somebody who has been talking about wanting to lose weight or something like that. So that can be a great opportunity for you to reach out to your family and to your friends to either invite them to join personally or to ask them if they know anyone who would be a good fit. Now, these people want to support you, and they'll likely give you a wholehearted testimonial to the people that they know. So it's an easy win. And I know we all have our own relationships with our family and even friends too. And maybe if you're looking at this right now or listening and thinking, my family's not supportive of this dream, or my friends don't really get it, that's okay too. And if it doesn't feel like a good time to reach out to people and tell them about what you're doing, I completely understand that. I also encourage you to know that you're supported too, and that the people in your life probably do want to support you even more than you think. So either reach out and invite your family and friends, or ask them if they know somebody who'd be a good fit, because every single person who joins your challenge is literally one more life that you get to change. So the internal promotion to your current followers, to your family and friends, that is days 16 to 45 of the 90 days of list building here. So that's halfway at the moment. Now we're going to go on tour. And this is my favorite part because I'm all about strategies that are collaborative, that are community-based. And I think it's just a great way that has infinite potential to help you grow your email list. I know that inviting people on your Instagram or something like that, maybe there is a limited amount of potential if you've got 50 people following you on Instagram. But if you collaborate with other people, the possibilities are literally endless. So let's take your challenge on tour. What I like to call this is crafty collaborations. So first, I want you to create your top 25 list. So this is a list of 25 people or brands that you'd love to collaborate with to promote your challenge. Now, these aren't brands that you'd love to collaborate with to get free yoga pants. These are brands that you think would be a great place to promote your challenge. Now, 22 of these should be similar or slightly larger in how big their following is. So you don't want most of these people to be like huge names that might be too busy to collaborate at the moment. You want these to be people who have a similar or slightly larger number of followers or people in their community. And then 3 of them should be stretch collaborators that might feel a little bit out of your league at the moment. So people who have a much bigger following than you, people that you would love to collaborate with. So 22 should be around the same place that you are, and 3 should be those stretch collaborators. Now, your ideal collaborators would have your ideal audience. So these aren't just people that you think are awesome people and you love them as a person. These are people that are in the same niche or industry as you, people who have the audience that you're trying to reach. Obviously, it would be great if you also really love them as a person too, but you don't want to just make a list of a bunch of people in all different industries and niches and different audiences. It needs to be specific to the types of people who would be willing to sign up for your challenge. So make sure they've got the audience you want to reach. It's also really helpful if they have an engaged audience. So you can see their engagement by looking at how many comments their posts or their their blog posts, their Instagram posts, their YouTube videos get. See how engaged their audience is. See if they have shares, if you see people sharing it, or even word on the street. Maybe you've heard people talking about them because they love them so much. So that can be really helpful too, to see if they've got engagement with their audience. And then it's also really helpful if you want to have products or courses one day, if they have complementary products rather than competing products. So what that means is if you want to create a course about how to start a vegetable garden and your challenge is get your vegetable garden up and running in 5 days, then you probably wouldn't want to reach out to somebody who also has a course about how to start a vegetable garden. Maybe you'd want to reach out to somebody who has a course about how to grow an orange tree or something like that, where it's complementary, but it's not the exact same thing. So they probably have the audience that you would want, but not the exact same people who are signing up for the same product. Now, let me know in the chat. I want you to type yes if you already have someone in mind who you'd love to collaborate with. And a quick note here too, is you don't need to know these people. These don't need to be people that you're already buddies with. These can be people that you've silently admired online, but haven't actually spoken to. So if there's anyone in your niche or industry that you think, yeah, I actually have always wanted to collaborate with them, let me know.
There is a ton of yeses. One was yes, nervous. And someone was asking, do I need to incentivize them to collab? Like, do I have to like pay them, or can I just reach out to them?
Yeah. So I'm actually going to go into as well what you should say to them to incentivize them without incentivizing them. I know that sounds confusing, but how to get them to want to collaborate with you. I'm going to show you what you should put in an email when you reach out to collaborate with them. But yay, I'm so excited that you guys are excited about collaboration. Now, what kinds of collaborations can you do with somebody? It could be something like hosting a Facebook Live in their Facebook group or on their page. So let's say that this person has a Facebook group, and maybe you're even in the Facebook group. You see that people are engaged in there. The people in this Facebook group are the exact type of person who'd be a great fit for your challenge. So you can reach out to the Facebook group owner and say, hey, I've got something that I think would be really valuable to teach to the members in your Facebook group. And don't worry, I'm going to show you exactly what to put in an email when you're reaching out. But this can be a great opportunity for you to get in front of hundreds or thousands of people to teach on a topic and then send them to your landing page where they can sign up for your free challenge. You can also guest post on their website. So if they have a blog, then this is a great opportunity for you to reach out and say, hey, I have XYZ information that I think would be really helpful for your audience. Can I create a guest post to share on your website? Now, this can also work for other mediums like YouTube. If you wanted to reach out to do some kind of YouTube guest post collaboration, maybe they're interviewing you, something like that. An Instagram story takeover on their account. So this is where you record Instagram stories. Maybe you're introducing yourself and then you're also teaching a few tips. And then they post those stories on your account, tagging your bio or your Instagram username. And then ideally, if they've got the swipe up thing on their account, they can also add that swipe up feature where it can lead to your landing page. Now, this is great too, because what people all want for their community is for their community to get value from what they're creating. Most people don't want to create content that nobody likes. So they want their community to get value. And let's be honest, creators want to be well received, well liked by their audience. And how do you do that? Is by creating value. So if you come in and you create some really great value for somebody's Facebook group or Instagram account or website, then they're going to be perceived in an even better way by their audience because, wow, they just brought in this cool person who taught me all about how to start a vegetable garden. So this is a great way to get collaborations because people want to be seen that way by their audience, and bringing in someone like you is a great way to help them do that while also growing your email list and getting people registered for your challenge. Another thing you can do is reaching out to people about doing a podcast interview on their podcast. So if they have a podcast, you know that it has the right audience that you want to reach, you can reach out about being interviewed on their podcast. I've had a podcast before, and I can tell you that podcast creators want people to be on their podcast. And if you can take away the work of having to research and try to find people to be on their podcast, or having them pitch people to be on their podcast, if you can just reach out with an amazing pitch and a really great topic that you can teach on the podcast, most people will say, oh my gosh, where have you been all my life? and they'll want you to create some content for their listeners. You could also, this is a little bit bigger of a strategy, but you could also do a webinar to their audience and not even pitch anything at the end. It can just be a webinar where you're teaching something in a free class and then leading them to your registration page for your challenge. So the key to all of these is you're always getting in front of new audiences. So you're taking advantage of the opportunity to get in front of other people's audiences that they've spent time creating, instead of having to create content for years and years and try to grow your own audience. You actually will be able to just grow your email list quickly using the audience that other people already have. You can also repurpose that pre-challenge content that we talked about, those blog posts, which turn into emails, which turn into Facebook Lives, which turn into Instagram posts, etc. Repurpose that challenge content during your collaborations, since only your audience has seen it. So those blog posts you wrote, you can tweak them and use them as guest posts. The Facebook Live that you did, you can tweak it and use it as a Facebook Live content that you would teach to somebody's Facebook group. The blog posts that you wrote or YouTube videos you created could also be repurposed into the types of things you talk about in a podcast interview. So this isn't about creating a massive amount of content and spending weeks just creating content that you teach to people's audiences. It's about creating just a couple pieces of cornerstone content that's really valuable and then repurposing it, teaching the same things all over the place. That's how you create buzz for your brand. And that is how you get lots of people to join your challenge, because all of a sudden, everyone's starting to talk about this topic that you're teaching all over the internet. And of course, you send those viewers or listeners or readers to an opt-in page for your challenge. So wherever you're doing a collaboration, you always want to make sure that you can send people to a landing page. Now, this is a recipe for rapid list growth, because you're constantly getting in front of the right audiences with a tantalizing, value-driven offer. Now, for your 90 days of list building, collaborating your way to list growth would be days 46 to 90. So the last 6 weeks after you've created your challenge, you've promoted it to your people, you spend those last 6 weeks really using that time to collaborate with other people and get in front of their audiences. So I have a little 6-week calendar here for you. And what you can do is maybe on every other Tuesday, you do a Facebook Live to somebody's Facebook group. Maybe every other Wednesday, you have podcast interviews that go out that lead people into your challenge. Maybe every Thursday, because this is a little bit easier, is you have an IG story takeover. Instagram story takeover, where you're on somebody else's Instagram account teaching something. And maybe every other Friday, you've got a guest post that goes out. Now, this might seem like a lot of content, but again, all of this is derived from just 1 or 2 pieces of content that you created and then repurposed into all of these pieces of collaborative content. Now, I also recommend batching your collaborations. So what is batching and why do I love it? Well, batching is when you do the same type of task and you just do all of them in a row, rather than going from writing a blog post to then creating Instagram content to then recording a video. All of those types of content are different. So you have to switch your brain every time you shift between different types of tasks. So with batching, you actually just do the same type of task consecutively in one sitting and get it all done, and then you're good. So what that could mean is maybe you write all of those guest posts in one day without switching between other tasks. Maybe you record all of those Instagram story takeovers in one day and you just send them off to the people you're collaborating with. Maybe you batch record all of those podcast interviews that you're going to be on and you record them all in one day rather than writing a blog post, then doing a podcast interview, then doing Instagram stories. it actually eats into the time that you have to do things because you're constantly doing something called context switching, where you're switching your brain between different tasks. So what I recommend is just do similar tasks in consecutive order, and it'll save you a lot of time. And then you can batch everything and work with your collaborators to have them schedule it. So what this means is you don't have to write your guest post the day before it's due every single week, or record your podcast interview the day before it's due every single week. You can actually just record them all ahead of time, batch them, and then send it off to those collaborators you're working with, and they will schedule it for you. So for example, you can finish all of your podcast interviews in one day and then have them scheduled out over those 6 weeks to get people joining your challenge. So new challenge registrants will just constantly be rolling in. Now, the big question I know a lot of you are thinking is, how do I pitch the collaborators that I want to work with? How do I make it juicy and exciting and something that they will want to say yes to, even if they've never even heard of me? Well, first, I recommend doing this through an email versus social media. Like I said earlier, email just feels more personal, and social media doesn't, to me, feel like a place to do business. So I would find their email address or a contact form on their website and shoot them an email. And then frame it as a win for them. This is not about you. So the big mistake that people will make when they want to do a collaboration is they'll say, I'd really love to do a Facebook Live to your audience because I think it would really help me grow my community, and I really love the people who are in your community, and I just love to get in front of them. That's not how you do it, because as a collaborator, they're always looking on the lookout for things that are going to be of value to their community, to make them look good, all that kind of stuff. And they want to know if you're the right person for that. So frame it as a win for them. So don't even talk about you or your challenge in the sense of like what you're going to get out of it. Just talk about how it's going to be a win for them. So talk about your knowledge on this topic, how much you are going to teach them, the 3 steps that you can teach in a Facebook Live, and why this is going to look good for the collaborator, because they're bringing in somebody who's really knowledgeable about a certain topic, and they're just going to get even more value by being in that Facebook group. And then let them know, why are you the person to teach this? So do you have any results from people you've worked with, like clients or customers? Do you have any social proof from people who have mentioned you online with the content you create, or past course, or maybe the challenge if your friends or family or people in your community have already taken the challenge? Do you have any social proof you can share? Or any of the free challenge results so far. So give them some social proof, if you have any, to show them why you're the person to teach this to them. And then have a specific collaboration idea. So don't go into it saying, let me know if you'd like to collaborate on something. That's not how you do it, because if you do that, then you're putting the weight on them to have to think of a collaboration idea. And if they've never heard of you and they weren't really trying to do a collaboration at the moment, they're probably not going to reach out with a specific idea themselves. So you want to be the one that comes in and tells them, I have this great opportunity. It's going to make you look great because I'm going to teach something really valuable to your audience. I have XYZ results that I've gotten for people on this same subject. Here's a testimonial from somebody who recently finished the challenge. And here is my specific collaboration idea. I'd love to do an Instagram story takeover. It'll be 5 stories long, and I'm going to teach this topic and this topic, and it's going to be really helpful for your people. So you want it to be an email to them that's not too long, because they might not read it if it's too long, but something that, again, just frames it as a win for them. And how it all comes together is you create an amazing 5-day challenge that solves a problem and correlates to your future or current paid course topic. You promote it internally on your social media with emails and to your friends and family. And then you go on tour. So you create that collaborative list of your top 25 people. You reach out to them with your collaboration ideas. And then you use those collaborative tactics to do things like podcast interviews and Instagram story takeovers. And the results? You've attracted at least 1,000 subscribers in 90 days or less by capitalizing on the audiences that other people have already grown. You have a killer tool that you can use before an online course launch. You can keep using your challenge to grow your list pretty much indefinitely. And you've built relationships with tons of other creators and brands, which can come in handy in the future if you want to launch a course or even just have people to get coffee with or do an online mastermind with, so that you have other people in your industry that you can connect with. So that's what I've got for you today. I would love to answer any questions that you have, but let's stay in touch. My website's melissagriffin.com. And just thank you guys so much for watching and being part of this today. It's been really fun for me.
Melissa, this has been amazing. Honestly, just looking at what people are saying in the chat, there's been so many takeaways. I know some people are even feeling like this is, really incredible. I don't know if I'm ready yet. Like, how do I grow my list? And like going through this workshop, you've really targeted like all those different problem points that people have. And I want to talk about you guys right now because you're obviously serious about creating a profitable online course, about growing a community, not just an audience, but a community of people that you can serve. And I really do want to acknowledge all of you guys for that. Most people don't take the time, especially during a week on a Tuesday, to show up to learn how to do this. So I think this says a lot about you. And what I want to know, and I already know the answer because I can see this in the chat, but who here has found this incredibly helpful? And also, what specifically has been your biggest takeaway? So what was it about this workshop that maybe you had a new idea? Maybe you had never thought about reaching out to collaborate with people or to do the challenge. Let me know in the chat. But really, Mary Susan says, thank you, Melissa, an hour well spent. I agree. Really though, what I hope the biggest takeaway that everyone gets here is that you can do this. And I mean, Melissa, you've worked with so many people. You've seen this. It just takes one step at a time. You don't need to start off big, just ensuring that you're consistent. But who maybe feels a little bit more like this? Like you are drinking out of a fire hose. And I want to say I can fully relate to this photo, so don't worry. And there's really two paths that you can take from here, and both of them are going to work. So the first path is you just go on your course creation journey yourself and you figure things out on your own. And really, I think that this is a perfect fit for some of you. Some of you might be more advanced and you might already know what you need to do, and you're kind of serving this as a reminder. Sometimes it can take a bit more work, but I really do think for some of you here, this is all that you needed. The second path is, well, just to get a proven step-by-step plan from people who've actually done it before. So learning from people like Melissa and getting the proven plan to follow. Usually the second path is faster, it leads to better results. And personally, I think it's just more fun because you're working with other people. And if you are interested in getting more support, like in path 2, as some of you already know, and I know a lot of you already here have, taken us up on this, we have a very special offer for Teachable to provide you even extra guidance to grow in your audience and grow in your course. So this is our best deal of the year, and we're calling it the Creator Startup Kit. And it is everything that you need in order to create and sell and grow your online course business. Now, the first thing that you're getting today is our professional plan. So this is our most popular plan, but I think rather than me just talking about Teachable and how amazing it is, Melissa, like you use Teachable. What is it about Teachable that was helpful for you? Or like, why do you use Teachable?
Yeah, absolutely. So I feel like I was one of the first Teachable customers because I've been using Teachable since I want to say 2015. But I love Teachable because I used to be a designer, so design is really important to me, having something that's streamlined and beautiful and not clunky. And Teachable is just a really beautiful solution for our students. We get compliments all the time from students who log into our courses and they're like, this is so beautiful, it's so modern, so easy to use. So that's number one. Number two is it's really easy to use, especially as somebody creating a course, uploading the videos, uploading if you have like workbooks and things like that. It's super easy to create sales pages. It's not something where you have to know like HTML to create your course or upload the content. It's just very simple and easy to use, even if you don't have a lot of tech knowledge. And then the thing that I also love and that I tell my students is Teachable is a one-stop shop. You don't have to go out and find like a sales page creator and then a checkout page and all of these different things. Teachable has it all inside of their software. So you can upload your course, you can create the sales page, you can accept payments. It's literally everything that you would need in order to create and launch an online course. So I love Teachable. It's so amazing. Literally
We appreciate that. No, but it's actually super cool that you are probably one of the first people to have used Teachable. And really, the goal with our platform is to make it easy. You can have as many courses and students as you want on the professional plan. You can track the progress of your students. There's no transaction fees. We also have things like live chat support. So if you have any questions, you can speak to someone live. And once you have the number one software to deliver your online course, you're going to want that step-by-step plan to create and launch it. And so what you're getting in this Creator Kickstart Kit is you're getting courses and tools, everything that you need. The total value is over $3,000. And the first thing that you're getting access to is our Teachable U curriculum. So this is our flagship course. This is really, we have spent months and months creating this, doing research to give you the best training that we can to come up with your idea, to validate it, to grow your course business. And we've broken it up into 4 curriculums. So if you are thinking, okay, but I need help finding the perfect course topic, I want something that I know people are actually going to be excited about, they're going to want to be a part of. The first course is all about choosing your course topic. And really, this is the best way to accelerate your course creation journey because you're choosing a topic that you know people are going to want. We're going to show you how to use our transformation framework so you can come up with a perfect course topic. There's 4 foolproof techniques that we use to validate topics that you've chosen, and that way you know it's not just a good idea, but it's also going to be a profitable one. And then if you're sitting here, and I mean, we've been talking about list building, if you need help building that initial audience, one of our courses and one of the core trainings in Teachable U is all about building your audience, specifically using mini courses. So in this training, you're going to learn how to use a mini course to build an audience of over 500 people. We're going to show you how to create a smaller email course. So if you don't have to build out the content, we have tons of case studies and really just all the strategies that you can use to grow your audience. And then if you're excited, but then you're like, okay, well, how do I create the content? This is very overwhelming. And let me know in the chat if that's how you're feeling. We also have our Create Your Course course. And really, this is just our favorite method for easily mapping out your course curriculum. It's of 5 types of course formats, so you don't always have to do video. There's so many other ways that you can deliver your content, things like how to set up a budget-friendly home studio and so much more. And then after you go through these lessons, you'll have created a professional, a high-impact course that you're not just proud of, but your students will love as well. And then the exciting part. It is the course launch. It's when you open enrollment, when you want to get students in. And if you're wondering, well, how do I actually do this? Like, how do I launch my course? What is the right strategy? In this fourth program, you're going to learn our entire 8-day launch sequence. We have an entire email calendar. We tell you what emails to send, how to enroll students. It's really everything that you need in our 30-day launch plan. And then after going through all this, you'll have created a successful course that you can be proud of, that you know how to scale and grow. And then this is what makes the Summit Bundle so special. So yes, you get Teachable. Yes, you get Teachable U, but you get these bonus courses that we do not offer any other time. And first off is Melissa Griffin's 33 email templates. And I looked through this, Melissa, and I was like, holy goodness gracious. Like, this is not just like what you can do. You are giving people basically an entire email sequence. Can you talk to us, like, what can we expect in this with these templates?
Yeah, so these templates, one of the biggest things that I've heard about from people when they're launching a course or trying to grow their list is writing emails. It takes so much time to write emails. So I took some of the best emails that we've written in our 6 years of doing business that have gotten the highest conversion rates, the most engagement, and I put them into a copy and paste format. So I tweaked them. I made them like fill in the blank where you can just put in your own information. And there are 33 email templates that aren't just like topics you can write about. They're literally emails that you can copy and paste and send to your subscribers. And a lot of them are email sequences too. So I have a course launch sequence in there. There are webinar onboarding, webinar invitation, and webinar follow-up emails. There's an abandoned cart sequence. There's a welcome sequence for new subscribers. I think there might be something else too, but these emails are pretty much what you need to start and grow a business. And they're literally copy and paste, fill in the blank. So super easy to use.
we are so excited that you included this. And like, it literally is almost every scenario that you will need to send emails in. It's not just launching. It's like when someone opts in, like, what do you say? How do you build that trust and a genuine relationship with them? And then the second course you get is Bushra Azra's Clicks to Clients Masterclass. So this is a 2-part masterclass. And really what makes Bushra so incredible is she is an expert when it comes to consumer psychology, and not just like driving a ton of traffic to your pages, but how do you speak to your ideal customers and how do you actually get them to convert into customers with the right products? And then finally, we have our third bonus course, which is from Regina, and it is Get Your First Sale Already. And look, everyone's audience is different. Everyone's products are different. And so in this course, what she helps you decide is what is the right sales funnel or launch sequence to use and for what audience. Plus, you're going to get access. And by the way, if you are a Teachable customer already, you already get this. This is our way of saying thank you for being part of the community. You get access to our VIP day, which is actually the 4th bonus day of the summit. So this is really where you can go in with your questions. We have a Q&A session with Pat Flynn and Jordan Harbinger. We also have an interview series with Maggie McGrath. She is the editor of Forbes Women. She interviews the top entrepreneurs. I mean, she hosts the Forbes 30 Under 30 Summit. So she has insights to some incredible minds, and we're going to dive into what traits she sees, the people that are successful, and how we can apply that too. Plus, you're going to get access to our Teachable live replays. And on the Pro plan, you're going to get 8 weeks of live group coaching calls. So this is with a Teachable expert where you can show up with your questions, you can share your screen, and really it's to ensure that you never get left behind. And the best part, you can go through this at your own pace. That way you don't ever feel like if you have a really busy schedule that you have to rush and go through all of it. And remember, you're getting the exact tool that tens of thousands of Teachables instructors have used to grow their online course business, including Melissa. So everything you're getting today, I know this is a lot, but you're getting our professional plan. Then you're getting all of these bonus courses and master classes and templates like Melissa Griffin's email templates. You're getting the Clicks to Clients masterclass with Bushra, getting your first sale by Regina. Day 4, which is our VIP day of Teachable Live, you get full access to Teachable U. You get all of the on-demand trainings and replays from this summit. And if you join Pro, it is 8 weeks of live group coaching. That is a total value of over $3,000. And really, I think all of these things, if you were to get them individually, that would still be an incredible investment. They are super valuable. But of course, you're here during a Teachable Summit. So our special offer is if you upgrade to our professional plan, which is $99 a month, you can cancel at any time. We're going to give you all of these courses, all of these bonuses as a gift. Now, if you're sitting here and you're like, this is a no-brainer, but I'm not quite ready for the professional plan, if you upgrade to the basic, which is just $39 a month, again, you can cancel at any time. We will include all of these bonuses. The only exception is you won't get the coaching calls, but everything else you will get. So basic plan still has most of the awesome features that you need. And actually, you can't see here, but we have one of our fellow Teachable employees. We have Cameron here. Cameron, would you mind kind of talking, what is the difference between professional and basic? Like, how do people know what's the right fit for them?
Well, Jess, it's a really good question. And there's a few things that go into this. So first of all, if you're looking for the extra help getting started with those group coaching calls, that's a big thing to consider. And speaking of help, the Pro plan has access to live chat support 7 days a week. So on our basic plan, we have an awesome email ticket system, which is run by a fantastic group of agents right here in the US, North Carolina and New York. But if you're looking for live chat support, that's only on the Pro plan. So it can really save time when getting started. And the Pro plan also lets you get a lot deeper when you engage with your students. So you can have more customizations, give them certificates. We're adding more advanced features to the Pro plan, including no transaction fees, and even soon a deeper integration with Facebook ads. So there's lots of stuff you're going to get on the Pro plan that's more kind of, I'll say, like next level. The basic plan is meant for those who are more just kind of dipping a toe in the water.
Awesome. Thank you. Now, like you said, the professional plan is our most popular plan. And what to do next is if this feels like the right fit for you, if you're just sitting here and you're like, heck yes, this is what I've been waiting for, you can click the button above this video, and it still gets better because we have a 100% money back guarantee. So there's no pressure for you to commit for the rest of your life here. You can take 30 days see if this is the right fit for you. See if this is what you were hoping it would be. And if by the end of that time, for whatever reason, it's not the right fit for you, let us know. We'll give you a full refund. There's no questions asked. It is our way of making this 100% risk-free, so at least everyone has the opportunity to see if this is for them or not. And then one other thing, which is that we have live bonuses here. These are power hours that we are including only for our live upgrades. And one of the power hours you'll be getting is access to Melissa Griffin, who will be doing an entire session answering your questions around list building. So if you have had questions throughout this workshop where you're like, I wish that I could show up and ask Melissa my question, this is for you. And just so you know, this workshop, after today, this power hour will not be included into the other fast action bonuses. So this is your opportunity. If you really do want to dive into this deeper, you want to upgrade live during this session. And this is literally our best deal of Teachable all year. And all of the courses and even the fast action bonus will be on the basic and professional plan. So again, this is everything that you're getting today. I'm not going to go through all of this because it is a lot, but you're getting the software, the tools that you need. You're getting the training, the bonus courses, and everything to ensure that you are successful. All right, so we're gonna get into the Q&A in just a moment, but what I want you to do next is really just type into the chat, let us know that you have upgraded, once we can ensure you get the fast action bonuses, also because we like doing virtual high fives, but also keep us posted with what you get up to, because really it is so great to see what everyone does from these sessions, from joining Teachable. And if you have any questions, if you are already a professional plan user and you want to get these bonuses, email summit@teachable.com. Again, we'll ensure you get all of that. So if you want to upgrade a pre-existing school, no problem. All that you need to do is select the plan above this video that is the right fit. You will receive an email with all the details, and then you'll get immediate access to the Creator Kit. All right, so I think you're probably wondering, okay, well, why is this offer so great? Like, what's the catch? Why are you guys just all of a sudden just giving away all of this stuff for free? And really the truth is, for us as a company, we only succeed when our customers do. And we need to do everything that we can to ensure that you have the support, the training, the inspiration to be able to take action and to implement and grow your online course business. And if you need assistance once you're in, we are here to help. We have our customer care team standing by. But Melissa, thank you for being here. We're going to dive into the Q&A. I know there were some questions here. Let me actually just see here. Here we go. We're in the bottom left here. There was a question from Marsha from Jamaica as her user. She had to go pick up her kids and she requested that we could ask this because she'll be watching the replay. So Marsha, I got you. And her question was for Melissa. I've already recorded my course videos. If I turn my first module into a 5-day challenge, do I have to remove the first module from my course?
Great question. So no, you don't. I think we sometimes feel like if we put something out there, everyone will have consumed it, so we should never talk about it again. But actually, people kind of want to hear the same information more than once, so it actually lodges into their brain. And two, a lot of the people who buy your course might not end up taking your challenge, or they might sign up and just end up not having time to go through it. So if you use that first module's content inside of your free challenge, I would definitely still put it inside of your program.
That is amazing. All right. So, and also, again, if we missed your question, as you can see, the chat is going very quickly, but we do have the incredible Melissa Griffin here. So do ask us all of your questions, and then we'll also be staying a little bit longer after Melissa to answer any specific questions you might have about Teachable. Okay, here we are. Candace says, when thinking collaborations, if you are a starter at under 100 members, is a 5K person too far to make the first pitch? So I think she means like... I
don't think that's too far. Yeah, like if you have under 100 people in your community and they have more than 5,000, I don't think that's too far. And that could be one of your more stretch collaborators that you reach out to, but I don't think that's too far, especially if you can come to them and show them how much knowledge you have to give and how what you're going to be teaching to their audience. So if you come to them and you have 100 subscribers or followers and you say, hey, I'd love to collaborate with you, and that's it, then that isn't going to work. But if you come and you say, hey, I've taught this challenge to 100 other people, and here's a couple of the results that they've gotten, and here are the 3 steps that I want to teach in a Facebook Live to your community. I've gotten these great results. I'm really passionate about what I do, and I think it could be a great fit for your audience. Then it's going to be something where they'll really take into consideration your pitch. But if it is something where it's like, hey, I'd love to collaborate, but you don't give them the specifics or the past results that you've helped people get, even if it's like a blog comment that somebody left where you really helped them in a blog post, that can work too. But just make sure that your pitch is really good for somebody like that. But I definitely don't think it's too far out of your league.
That's great. And that's why I love why your focus is so much on getting people results and an outcome, because you can always use that when you're reaching out to people to show that, hey, if I can help them, I can help your audience. We have a question from Kite Kid Mama. I love that name. Question is, I love what you're saying, Melissa. My only concern is the span of time between starting to promote the challenge and when it actually begins. For the first people who sign up, that's a long time to wait between getting them excited for results and then giving them the challenge, isn't it?
Good question. So there's 2 ways that you can do a challenge. One way is it starts on a certain day, like today, and then it ends on a certain date, like 5 days later. So let's say it started today and it ends on Friday or Saturday or something. That's one way to do it. Another way to do it is where you automate it in an email service provider like ConvertKit or MailChimp or something, where instead of starting on a specific date, it just starts whenever they sign up, and then it goes for 5 days until the challenge is over. So what you can do with your email service provider is just have the first email go out right after they sign up for your challenge, and then have the second email be scheduled to go out 24 hours after they sign up, and then the third email, and so on. So that means that you can promote your challenge and people can sign up and get started whenever they sign up, rather than having to wait for a specific date. Now, if you wanted to use your challenge as a specific launch technique where you're getting people to sign up for your challenge and then you're starting your launch enrollment period for an online course, then that's when I would recommend having a specific start and end date for your challenge. So it would start and then end right before your enrollment period begins for your course. But what I am teaching here today in the 90 days of list building is you create your challenge, and then for about, I think it's maybe 8 to 10 weeks, you're promoting it and people are constantly rolling in and taking it throughout that time period. So hopefully that makes sense.
Yeah, absolutely. And great question. So for those of you wondering, how do you get access to the Power Hour with Melissa? It is available to everyone that upgrades live during the session. So unfortunately, if you're watching the replay, it would have expired, but it's kind of like a bonus, a way to say thank you for those that are live. But it will go away after the end of this session. So let us know in the chat if you've upgraded, and just so we can ensure you get access to that.
Yeah. And upgrading now also means that you will have locked in access to all the bonuses going forward.
Yes. Okay, so here's a question for you, Melissa. What are the most common mistakes that you see people make when they start growing their list? So maybe it's the challenge, and do they add too much, not enough? Like, what are some common mistakes that you see people make?
I would say the 2 biggest ones are they're not specific about what they're going to give people if they sign up for their email list. And their copywriting on their opt-in forms or landing pages doesn't talk about the problem that they're going to be solving for people. So that's why I think challenges are great, because it does have a specific problem you're solving. What you wouldn't want to do, I just saw somebody in here saying that they wanted to create a challenge on forgiveness, which is such a beautiful topic for a challenge. But what I wouldn't want to do if I were you and creating a challenge on forgiveness is creating an opt-in form or a landing page that says something like, sign up for the forgiveness challenge. Because that's not specific about what exactly you're going to be teaching people with about forgiveness. So instead, something you would want to use that's solving a problem is like how to forgive your parent who hurt you in this 5-day challenge, like how to forgive somebody in 5 days through this step-by-step process. That actually solves a very specific problem and it feels very actionable. So that's a big thing that I see people make a mistake with, whether it's a challenge or it's a PDF or something else that they're trying to get people to sign up for, is just how they frame and message this free opt-in to people, because you want to make sure you're always solving problems and that it's very specific what it is that you're helping them solve. If people see something super general, they're not likely to sign up for it because they don't know what they're going to get out of it. If it's solving something specific, then they're like, take my money, take my email address, I'll do anything.
That's amazing. And yeah, I'm seeing Dennis from Kenya says, love the webinar, very quality content you're offering. Thanks for being here, Dennis. Sharon is asking a bit off topic maybe, but do you have any advice on how to format your weekly newsletters to your email list to keep them engaged? So once the challenge is over, how do we, and I know that you've got some awesome templates.
Yes. So actually in those 33 email templates that you'll get when you sign up for Teachable is, I think, 4 or 5 weekly newsletter templates that you can also just copy and paste and send to your email list. And they're a really great way to get started with, what do you put in an email newsletter? How do you keep people engaged? How do you promote your content in a way that doesn't feel boring? So those are really helpful. And then just a couple tips. When you're writing a weekly newsletter, if you create content elsewhere, like in a blog post or a podcast or YouTube, I would think of your email list as similar to that type of content. It's not just a place where you say, okay, I wrote a blog post, go read it. It's a place where you can also share more value with your essentially VIP community members, people who have signed up to be part of your email community. So you can share more tips. So maybe you wrote a blog post with 5 tips. Maybe in your email, you share 3 more tips on the same topic. And then you can even link to your blog post to tell them, if you want the other 5 tips, go read the blog post. So it's this cycle of getting people to engage with your content, both in email and then also elsewhere where you create content online. Another thing that I recommend is adding stories to your emails. I almost always start with a story in my emails. Whatever it is that I'm talking about, if it is like 3 ways to start your vegetable garden, I'll start with a story. And the stories that I tell often are meant to help my community members feel like I understand where they're at, because I've been there too. So if my email was like 3 ways to start a vegetable garden, then maybe I'd start a story with like, I wanted to start a vegetable garden and then felt super overwhelmed with all the information out there, which is very true, by the way. I have a vegetable garden and was very overwhelmed by how to start it. But yeah, so telling a story of like what it was like when you were at that place, or something that you went through regarding the topic that you're going to be talking about in your email. Stories just capture engagement and get people reading until you get to the actual informational or pitch or call to action part of your email. So hopefully that helps a little bit.
Super helpful. First of all, Melissa, I want to say thank you so much again. Can we all just give a big thank you to Melissa, and also virtual high five to everyone who's upgrading. I know Diane said you just upgraded and you're super excited, and everyone else that typed into the chat. I think we'll do one more question for Melissa. I know you talked about this, but the fact that you've grown your business so you can now do like retreats, which you are doing with your team, I think in Portland right now, which is awesome. So I really appreciate you spending your Tuesday here with us. But let's do one more question. Seen a lot of thanks. A lot of Shella says, wow, Melissa, huge gratitude. Okay, maybe just a lot of thanks for Melissa. Well, again, yeah, thank you so much for being here. I highly encourage you guys, even if you just want to see what engaging emails look like, please go to melissagriffin.com. If you get the bonus, you will get the 33 email templates so you can see firsthand. It literally feels like every scenario that you could think that you need emails for, they are included in this bundle. But we appreciate you, Melissa. Have a wonderful rest of your day. And don't worry, we will still be here to answer your questions around Teachable. But yes, Melissa, thank you so much.
Thanks, Melissa.
Oh, thank you, guys. Thank you all so much for watching today, too. You guys are so amazing and just so full of energy and enthusiasm. I am cheering you on in your email list building and course creation journey. You all are in good hands with these two. So peace. Love you guys.
Love you.
Have
Bye.
a great day.
Awesome. Well, there's 2 of us now. Cool. All right. So we're here to, I guess there's 4 of us. here to answer your questions around the bundle. I know there's a lot of you that are wondering about like what is included. Maybe you have Teachable specific questions. We're here to answer your questions. No question is silly. We'll be here for a few minutes. And again, to get the Power Hour with Melissa, that will end when we end today, this session. So if you want to get access to that, the button is above
just to
this video.
clarify, Jess, the power hours, those are going to happen after the summit, right? They're not happening like right during the summit, like right now you need to get ready. It's going to happen after.
Yeah, so they will be in October. That is a great question. So there's a couple of, if you sign up, there's several little treats for you. But first off, if you're on the Pro plan, you get access to 8 weeks of group coaching. So those are happening weekly on Fridays. You can choose which sessions that you join. They're led by this lovely human right here.
Hello.
And no question, silly, you can share your screen. You can get very specific advice on those calls. So that's the first thing. The next thing is if you are a Teachable customer or you join or you upgrade during the summit, you'll get access to our VIP day. So that is actually the bonus day. So the summit is happening the 24th to the 26th, and the bonus day is on the 27th. And that is more of an interactive day. So you're doing a Q&A with Pat Flynn, Q&A with Jordan Harbinger. There's an interview with Maggie McGrath, who is the editor of Forbes and Forbes Women, and then an incredible session workshop with Marissa Murgatroyd, I know I'm saying her last name wrong, about how do you actually get people results and actually get them to complete your course when you've launched it.
And the VIP day is really our way of saying thank you. And it's our way of making clear that, we're not just moving on from one promotion to the next promotion to the next promotion. We value our existing customers. So once you're a customer, we're not just saying, okay, great, thank you, where's the next one? We value our relationship long term.
Yeah, absolutely. So yeah, if you are watching this and you are already a Teachable customer, no need to upgrade. You would have gotten your special email, or you'll be getting another email with how to access those sessions.
Brenda, if you're running into an issue when sending an email, I should say make sure the spelling is completely correct. We set up a special email, summit@teachable.com, and that should be working. If that isn't working for whatever reason, support@teachable.com, our regular old email, will continue to work. So some people asking in the chat, can we do annual subscriptions, monthly subscriptions? What's the difference? Or I see the Pro plan is $79 on your website, but you're saying $99 now. Can you explain this? So our professional plan is $99 a month if you pay monthly. If you make an annual commitment, we want to recognize and honor that commitment, so you pay a lower price. It's in fact 20% cheaper if you pay annually. So when you pay annually, it's $79 a month. But of course, an annual plan is paid all up front. So you can pay monthly at a higher amount or upfront for the year at a lower amount. That choice is up to you. Now, to be clear, you can either upgrade today for monthly or annual, and it'll still be valid. Most people today are getting started, so they're trying it out with monthly. But if you're ready to get started and you want to save that 20%, you can go straight to annual, no problem.
All right.
So Ariel says, what if we can't make the coaching meetings on Fridays? So Ariel, typically this hasn't been a problem in the past, but if you need to ask a question that you won't be there to ask in person, then please go ahead and submit that question to our support team, and they'll make sure that we can get that answered.
All right. Pam saying, Alex, I know that I'm not Melissa, but buying email list doesn't ensure they're online 100%. I'm not sure, but I think there's a question in regards to buying email lists. And I would not encourage anyone to do that, just because...
Yeah. I mean, think of it like this. I mean, if you sign up for Jess's email list, then all of a sudden you get a random email from Jess's friend. Not only are you going to be marking that as spam, but you're going to be mad at Jess for having given away your email in the first place. So if you get a purchased email list, then everyone on that list is feeling that same feeling. Like, why am I getting this email from this random person I've never heard from before? They must have bought this list.
Yes. All right. So also really, really great question from Tiffany Hawthorne, the geeky copywriter. Such a great title. Who's asking about imposter syndrome. So I would actually highly recommend we have a session during the summit. I think it is on day 2. All about overcoming imposter syndrome, procrastination, self-doubt. And then on day 4, if you are a Teachable customer, you upgraded, Maggie McGrath, we will be talking about imposter syndrome because she's a very, very interesting take from the entrepreneurs that she's interviewed. So we'll also be diving into that as well. Okay. Brenda says, if I'm already a Pro Teachable member, am I eligible for the Friday coaching calls, and what time are they? If you email us at summit@teachable.com, we can definitely get you access to that. Ben says back.
Okay, so Kent says, what is Friday group coaching? Are there more groups on the same day? So Kent, the Friday group coaching is a very small group sessions, typically between 5 and 15 people. And if more than that show up, then you can actually come to another one. Like it won't count against your 8. So it's a very small one. So we don't try to break it up in between like multiple segments or verticals or groups. We find that all sorts of questions and all sorts of answers are useful for everyone. So when I lead these, if someone is asking a question about a small business, it might be really relevant to someone who's working at a larger business. A couple of weeks ago, we had someone who was using Teachable to do corporate training for Coca-Cola, and they were asking really interesting questions about, how do you get employees to finish their training? And that's relevant questions even to people asking, how do I get regular people to finish my training? So we try to keep it blended and we try to keep it small. And if there's a really big group, don't worry. We want to make sure you get value so you can just come to another one.
All right. Also, huge welcome to everyone who has upgraded during this session. Ellis and Vanessa and Diane and everyone, virtual high fives. And we're super excited. And actually, Diane has a really great question who asks, new basic member here, what would you recommend is a first step after joining? So I have one follow-up question, which is, it depends on what stage you're at in your course journey, in your business. So do you know what your topic is going to be? Do you have an email list already? Is it more so in creating the content? So let me know where you're at. The nice thing though is in Teachable U, on top of or outside of all the bonuses that you're already getting in this bundle, we have 4 different sections. So one course is choosing your topic. Second course is all about growing your email list. Third is creating the content. And fourth is launching. So the nice thing is you can start going through those courses based off of where you are at.
So Maureen says, if I don't have a course yet or no clear idea, how do I upgrade professional? Would I be missing time and money? So Marina, if you don't have a course yet, no clear idea, you're not sure where to begin, etc., it might, for you, I would think it's up to you whether or not you want basic or pro. I'd go for pro if you want to move really quickly and you want to be able to have group coaching and live chat support behind you as you're doing that. But if you're looking to more kind of dip your toe into the water, just get started, start learning, I would dive straight into basic and I would start opening up Teachable U tonight and going through the training in there. The training in Teachable U is how you will learn, how do I actually start generating an idea for my course? Not just what do I want to teach, but how do I want to teach it? So the questions that you're asking right now, Teachable U will answer, and you'll get those with a purchase to the basic plan. Awesome. Brandy says, when does the 8 weeks of coaching begin? Brandy, it's every Friday. They've been going for, this is not like a new initiative. We've done this for a while, so it's not like there's a huge start date. It should be just continuing every Friday.
All right, so Aylin is asked, for newbies, do we have access to Q&As to specific coaches at later time? Just sign up for the pro plan and noted live webinars will be coming very shortly. Yes, so if you cannot attend the power hours, if you upgrade live, or you cannot attend the the VIP sessions, you will get access to those replays. So even if you can't attend, you can still hear what they had to say.
That Melissa says, I've been a customer for over a year and I think I've read Teachable U cover to cover. But the best thing is every time I put in a support ticket, the response is helpful and so quick.
Thanks, Melissa.
Melissa, I appreciate that you're saying this because it really goes back to what we try to do, which is not only to give you the resources to succeed, but the help to use those resources successfully.
Yeah, because it really goes back to for us as a company, we want you to stay on Teachable for as long as possible. We want you to be successful. We want you to be raving to your friends and your business partners. So we need to do everything that we can to ensure that you are successful and that you have a great experience. So we really appreciate that.
So first off, a lot of people since we did the last round of virtual high fives have upgraded. So to Chiana, to Darren, to everyone else who's been upgrading virtual high five and real high five. All right. Adam says, if I enroll and decide I don't like it, how long can I cancel my membership? So if you're watching this thinking I'm ready to sign up, but I don't know if this is right for me, you could be right. It might not be right for you. But do you want to sit there never knowing if this was right for you? Or do you want to just give this a try and find out if online training or memberships is the key to unlocking your success? Because my answer to what Adam asks is, You are probably thinking, what if this isn't right? Can I cancel? Is there a lot of risk? I'm a pretty anxious person. When I'm evaluating decisions, sometimes I'm like, what's the worst thing that can happen? Who's going to die if I mess this up? Like, how is this going to go wrong? The worst case scenario with Teachable is within 30 days, you say, hey, I don't like this, and you get your money back. It is literally that simple. And it's not like calling the cable company and trying to get connected to someone who will finally cancel your plan. Just send us an email. We'll cancel it. We'll give you your money back. It is literally that simple. So if you're on the fence, if you're wondering like, hey, like, is this for me? You know what? I don't know if it's for you or not, but I think there's a pretty good chance that it could be. So if you're on the fence, I urge you to try it out.
And also, I think maybe we can answer some questions in regards to, maybe you're on the fence right now. Maybe you're like, I don't know if this is for me. Maybe it is. I'm worried about X, Y, and Z. If like there's anything where like you feel excited, like we don't want to pressure anyone to doing anything. But if you are like, this definitely feels like something I want to do, but I have some hesitations or some questions around like maybe specifics about what Teachable can do, feel free to type those into the questions. We'll be very honest. We'll let you know. Oh, and Marsha from Jamaica is back. I want to say, Marsha, you were on at our last summit, weren't you? And just so you know, we answered your question. I know you said you had to pick up your kids. As promised, it will be in the replay. And Marsha says, I just want to say I signed up for the basic membership last summit, March 2019. And even though I have not published my course, I felt justified paying the monthly fee because I have access to Teachable U. Thank you, Marsha. And I think that also addresses something, which is that like you don't have to have your content ready. Like you're getting access to the software, but you're getting the training to basically guide you through step by step so you know that you're going on the right path.
So there's a question here. So Denise says, do you have to show where you applied all the steps before getting a refund? This makes me think that people are so not used to how easy our refund policy is. Denise says, do you have to show that you've applied all these steps before you get a refund?
Oh.
No, Denise, if it doesn't work for you, it doesn't have to work. It doesn't work out. You don't have to like send us like a completed worksheet saying like, I tried all of this and it didn't work.
Or like Bed Bath & Beyond.
Yeah,
no questions asked.
We're all adults. If you're not liking it, just get your money back. It's really that simple. But this shows me that people are like so nervous here. It's like, oh, what is this company trying to pull? What are they going to try and do? No, we're just regular people. We want things to be easy for you.
People probably take advantage of that, but you know what? We can make it easy.
Roxanne right now says, looking at my dashboard, trying to find where I sent my payment to a year at a time to save them. So Roxanne, what I would do before switching to an annual plan, just sign up for the monthly plan first. Sign up for the monthly plan first, because when you switch to an annual plan, we automatically give you a credit for the monthly plan you just paid for. So I would upgrade to the monthly plan first, just to make sure that everything's set and everything's tracked and you're on the right plan. And then you can switch, to the annual plan later on.
Right.
Okay. Yeah, Maggie, you can sign up. You can sign up with whatever email address you want, whether business or personal. Just make sure that you actually can get emails there. So don't sign up with a fake email that you can't actually receive emails at. That way, you're not going to see your students' questions. You won't be able to reset your password. So as long as it's an email that you control and you have access to, whether it's personal or business, that's what I would do.
And Bev is asking, if we upgrade, will we get these recordings from these 3 days? Yes. And you also get the recordings from the VIP day on Friday as well.
Ella says, what might have been asked? This might have been asked for. What microphones are you using? We're using Shure microphones. Oh, what is the model number? Oh yeah, it's the SM7B.
Rode is also an excellent option too.
So this is we just used to have like a little webcam and a MacBook Air. Now we've got this whole professional setup with this fancy camera and all this stuff. So, and there's also a whole pile of cough drops over here because Jess has been chugging them all day.
Yes, thank you. And actually, fun fact, we used to use the Blue Yeti, the one that we are giving away 10. I think, let me just see. Oh, the giveaway is closed. So if you entered, there was like 1,500 people that entered to win the Blue Yeti at the beginning. So if you're wondering what we're talking about, if you join late and you're like, what do you mean you guys gave away 10 Blue Yeti microphones? Actually, do you have the Blue Yeti? So here so people can see what it looks like. This is a Blue Yeti microphone. And so We, at random times during the live sessions, we will randomly pick them, and we may or may not give away free things. My Vanaway here.
Wow.
Yes. So
it's so blue.
We
It's so microphone.
So at the beginning of the session before we kicked off, so that's another reason to make sure that you get here right on time. We give away different things randomly. Maybe we do, maybe we don't. But we actually used to use a Blue Yeti when we did our webinars, like years ago. So it's a great mic.
Just Rachel says, if I purchase today, do we get all the giveaways? So Rachel, just to be clear, the giveaways,
oh yes,
these are like little things we're giving to drive excitement. You enter and you will randomly win it. We unfortunately cannot give $100 microphone to every single person who signs up, because that's the whole cost of your plan. We can't, yeah. We'd be losing money on every single customer. That sounds great for you, but we can't do that. But yes,
it's like the Hoover giveaway.
Yeah, so we're gonna be picking people at random. So we had 1,500 entries. So we're 10 winners. So your odds of winning are just a little bit under 1%, which is pretty good for these sorts of giveaways. Normally, like these online giveaways, you got 1 out of 1,000 odds or anything like that.
Yes. All right. Let's see.
Elsa's things. Cameron. Oh, I think that someone is watching the webinar a little bit behind, so they were watching the promotional video at the beginning.
Right.
They just joined. Angela says, I'm trying to sign up. Angela, I think I've seen you post a few things saying that you were having an issue signing up. If you're running into an issue, can you submit a ticket right now to our support team by emailing support@teachable.com? Just submit a ticket right now. That way we know that you were trying, and we're going to be able to grant you all the bonuses, even if you're able to upgrade later. So I'm assuming that there's something small that you're missing on the checkout page. It happens sometimes. So just get in touch with our support team. We'll make sure that you get upgraded, and we'll make sure you get all of the bonuses.
And Rachel has clarified her question. She did not think that we are giving away a bunch of microphones. She says, sorry, I meant the Power Hour bonuses. How do we receive all that? Do we get all of that after we purchase? So with the Power Hour bonuses, these are only for live upgrades. And the earlier you upgrade, the more power hours you'll get. So it's kind of like a waterfall. So if you joined the first session today, you will get all of the fast action bonuses, which is the power hours. If you join today, you won't get the one that we did earlier today, but you'll get the power hour with Melissa, and then the ones preceding that, and then and so on. So basically, the longer you wait, the less power hours you will get. All right, sorry, that was a very long way to answer that, but I hope that makes sense.
M says, got it. Problem was on my side with browser security. Okay, I'm glad to hear that. Lisa says, where do we get the power hours? Lisa, good news. You have to do nothing. So we're going to email you automatically with all of the info on how to join the power hours. But again, you don't have to worry or rush. Those aren't going to take place during the summit. Those are going to take place at a nice relaxed pace later on in October. Okay. And of course, those will be recorded. So if you missed the power hour, you'll still have access. Again, there will be a replay. We are recording it. There is always a replay.
Yes. Okay, and I think there's one question I think we should address. There's someone asking, I get paid tomorrow. Can I join and upgrade then? And look, we will be the first people to say if this is a good fit for you or not. If you are put in a financial stressful position to pay $39, we would not recommend you join Teachable now. Use our free resources, go through the session. With Teachable, with anything, when you're growing a business, it takes time. And so we don't want anyone to feel like they're in a stressful situation where they have to make $39 back like right away.
Teachable is a great piece of software that many people use to make lots of money, but it's not a get-rich-quick scheme. It's a get-rich-slow scheme. It's about building a sustainable, successful business. So if you need to wait till your next paycheck in order to afford the $39, we're looking for folks who are at a point in their life where they're able to devote time and energy and really put a lot of themselves into creating their courses, their trainings. And we're selling here, but we don't want customers who aren't going to succeed with us. And if you're struggling to put together the money for the Teachable plan, that might be a sign that it's a bit too early in your journey for Teachable yet. So we don't want you to join Teachable if it's a huge struggle for you. And I want to be very clear about that. We're not trying to make money at any cost here.
Yeah, and you're going to get so much value from the 3 days regardless. We've had people get results from just the summit content. So, yes. Okay.
Hey says, I'm a teacher in real life and I'm teaching IT related things. So I'm sure many teachers out there are better than me, so I still fight with the idea of not delivering lower level courses. Is there any advice in this situation? So this is a question about imposter syndrome. So what's your typical response to this kind of thing, Jess?
Okay, so I can tell you no one teaches the way that you're going to teach, because everyone teaches from their experience. Everyone has different experiences. They have different ways of sharing information, and you don't need to be the world's most knowledgeable person to share something. And I'm going to give you a real life example. And I think, you know what, we might even show the video this evening at 9 p.m. Eastern during the broadcast session. There's a woman named Penny Williams, and I actually spoke to her about the imposter syndrome because she has courses and programs that help parents with children with ADHD and autism, and she supports them to thrive. And I asked her, I was like, you know, do you have a PhD, or do people ask you if you have a PhD or like a master's in this? And she said, no. And what she said was that I knew that I'd gone through a personal experience that I could relate, and I learned things and I could share that with other parents. So, and we actually surprised her with testimonial videos from all of her students and people she had helped. So that's a very long-winded way of saying that you don't need to like compare yourself to other teachers. If you are passionate about something, if you have a personal experience that you can like pull from to teach people, you are more than qualified to teach.
Shadeen says, Teachable is a current pro member. I'll be able to catch recorded power hour sessions. So if you're eligible to get the power hours, then you're going to get the recordings. I don't think there's any group of people who are able to see the live power hours, but they don't get the replays.
Oh, and Rob saw the video. Thanks, Rob. Yeah, we'll play it tonight at 9 p.m. We have two great broadcast sessions with Pat Flynn, an interview, and Sherry Saladas. We're airing these. These are like pre-recorded, professionally filmed, actually. So if you want to grab your popcorn, maybe a nice like juice or tea, and you want to watch some inspiring interviews, and I think we will share that video then as well. Okay, let's take one more question. And again, if there's anything that we have missed, if you have any other questions before we end today, email summit@teachable.com.
Juliana, I'm really glad to hear that. And as a CPA and financial pro, your endorsement of our ethics is it means a lot.
Thank you. Okay. Juliana, no, we are actually live, if that's what you mean. Unless you're talking about your courses or recorded trainings. But we're live right now.
I think she's talking about her own recorded trainings.
Oh, okay, gotcha.
Oh, and Fitz signed up. Fitz, virtual high five, real high five.
Awesome. Well, I guess on that note, we should end by thanking everyone. There's, a lot of people that talk about doing online courses and just learning, or as someone said here, investing in themselves, whether it's investing time in themselves. And the fact that you're here on a Tuesday, spending 2 hours with us, I mean, we really appreciate you being here. So on behalf of myself
and me,
and I know everyone here at Teachable, even the people that you might not see that are answering your tickets, that are developing the platform, we appreciate you, and we'll see you at 6 p.m. Eastern, which is in 2 hours. We have a very exciting panel on the rookie mistakes to avoid when launching your first course, and then we'll be back at 9 p.m. Eastern for a broadcast session.
They did what when they launched their course?
No, it'll be super inspiring, super helpful, and I can't wait. So thank you all, and we will see you guys in a couple hours.
See you everyone on the other side.